If you have ever owned a Ducati, you absolutely know one thing. Every Ducati on a showroom floor traces back to the same place, a racetrack in Bologna, Italy, where a company nearly went bankrupt 3 times before becoming the bike every rider secretly wants parked in their garage. And nobody buys just one Ducati and calls it a day. It starts innocently enough.
The transition usually goes from I want a Ducati to I should buy a Ducati, because Ducati doesn't make one kind of bike, it makes 7. Every rider starts from somewhere, and they usually climb through 7 distinct levels, from your first taste of Italian engineering to motorcycles that are basically race bikes with license plates. This is the 7 levels of Ducati. Let's begin.
Level 1, the entry point. Scrambler and Monster base, $10,000 to $12,000.
Because every Ducati journey starts from somewhere, most riders start with the Scrambler line and the base Monster. Think about the bikes that have nothing to intimidate you. Low seat height, upright seating, and air-cooled or smaller displacement V-twins.
The Scrambler in particular doesn't seem to be a real Ducati, but think about cafe culture and weekend rides. It's literally a lifestyle bike that opened the doors to the Ducati universe to thousands of riders around the world.
The base Monster is a little sharper. Same Desmodromic V-twin DNA Ducati's known for, just detuned and friendly. To be genuinely fun and not scare someone off who's 2 months into riding, the power sits between the sweet spot of 70 to 95 horsepower range. This is the tier that exists so a new rider's first real bike can have a red fairing and a Ducati badge instead of feeling like they're settling.
Level 2, the Step Up, Monster higher trims and Super Sport, roughly $13,000 to $17,000. The Ducati Monster. The upper Monster trims bump displacement and add the Multistrada engine architecture. This is where things start getting serious for riders. Because in the early 1990s, the Monster became one of the most successful naked bikes ever created.
A sports bike that took off its heavy plastic, put on a leather jacket, and decided to party in the city. The Monster doesn't have a windshield, touring comfort, or adventure bike practicality. It's the bike Ducati built for someone who wants sport bike DNA, but still wants to ride 200 miles without their wrists filing a complaint. And at this level, most riders start to understand why Ducati owners are so passionate. The sound and styling stops feeling like transportation and becomes an experience. If level 1 is I want a Ducati, level 2 is I'm a Ducati rider now.
Level 3, the do-everything bike. Multistrada V2 V4, $20,000 to $28,000.
Here's where Ducati starts splitting personalities, and the Multistrada is the bike for someone who refuses to choose. Its name means many roads, and it's built to do pretty much everything. The V2 keeps things more manageable in size and weight. The V4 is where it gets serious. Multistrada is packed with crazy tech, is an adventure tourer with long travel suspension, radar that watches cars around you, and a screen that looks like a video game. It can go from a smooth highway cruiser to a sharp sport bike, or even a dirt-loving explorer. It's the bike that constantly encourages bad decisions, and a kind of behavior that makes your inner teenager very happy. At this stage, riders stop asking which Ducati bike is practical and start asking which bike is the most fun, because the Multistrada is the most versatile bike in the entire Ducati range.
Level 4, the Streetfighter V2/V4, $18,000 to $30,000. When you strip the fairing off a sports bike and raise the handlebars, it leans into aggression instead of hiding it. That's the Streetfighter philosophy in one sentence. The best part? The front headlight is specially shaped to look like a menacing grin. The 1103cc Desmodromic Stradale V4 derived directly from Ducati's MotoGP program. Same chassis, just without the full fairing and with a riding position that's actually livable.
It is pure, unfiltered adrenaline that has built-in aerodynamic biplane wings on the sides. When you go super fast, the wind pushes down on the wings to keep the front tire glued safely to the ground. The Streetfighter V4 in particular is built around wheelies, torque, and a riding position where you can actually see over the dash. The engineering behind the motorcycle is remarkable, but what truly makes it special is its personality. Raw, intimidating, and unapologetic.
Level 5, the flagship superbike, Panigale V2 V4, $23,000 to $37,000.
Everything about this motorcycle exists for one purpose: performance. From aggressive bodywork slicing through the air to its chassis that delivers razor-sharp handling. This is the bike most people picture when they hear the word Ducati. The Panigale is the company's halo sport bike line, and it's split into 2 very different experiences. It's widely known for making riders feel like professional racers, and for many enthusiasts, the Panigale V2 represents the dream.
The V2 is the purest choice, a 90-degree V-twin, lighter, narrower, a chassis that rewards precision over outright horsepower. The V4 is the modern answer, with over 200 horsepower in stock trim, the same Desmodesici Stradale architecture found in the Streetfighter but tuned harder. It is Ducati's ultimate racing crown jewel. It is built for maximum speed, sharp corners, and making you feel like a world champion racer.
Level 6, the homologation special. Panigale V4 R, $45,000. Panigale V4 R is the final boss that sits at the very top of the Ducati's performance mountain. It's a bike that isn't inspired by racing, it exists because of racing. World Superbike racing rules require a homologated production version of any bike Ducati wants to race. So Ducati builds this, a 998cc version of the V4, displacement restricted to meet the rulebook, revving to a genuinely absurd 16,500 RPM, producing more naturally aspirated horsepower per liter than almost anything else sold with a license plate.
From its aerodynamics, lightweight construction, to its advanced electronics and race-derived engine, every detail exists to make this monster extraordinary. Owning a V4R isn't really about practicality or value. It isn't about making sensible decisions either. Instead, it's about passion. Pure, uncompromising passion. At this level, riders aren't buying transportation. They're buying a piece of Ducati's racing soul.
Level 7, the unobtainium Panigale V4 Superleggera, $100,000.
The Superleggera V4 is the bike Ducati built after asking, what if money wasn't a factor? This bike is what happens when engineers are told to build a motorcycle out of pure money and spaceship parts, completely ignoring the laws of physics. It is the ultimate flex in the motorcycle world. A claimed dry weight under 360 pounds, lighter than some 600cc sport bikes, wrapped around a V4 engine pushing roughly 234 horsepower in road trim and well over 240 with the included racing exhaust.
That's a power-to-weight ratio that genuinely rivals MotoGP machinery. It features the world's first street-legal carbon brake discs and front fork tubes. It is Ducati's rolling piece of fine art. It's a bike that defies all laws of sensibility, comfort, and practicality at its finest.
It's built to answer one question. What's the absolute ceiling of what Ducati can legally put a license plate on? And the answer, every few years, gets a little more ridiculous. For most riders, the Superleggera is completely unnecessary.
For collectors, it's a masterpiece. And for Ducati enthusiasts, it represents the highest level of motorcycle obsession. Because when you reach this point, you're no longer choosing a Ducati based on what you need. You're choosing it because it's the absolute best Ducati money can buy. So that's the climb. From the Scrambler that costs as much as a used car, which introduces you to the brand, to the Superleggera, a $100,000 carbon missile that sits above all others. It not only broadens your horizon, but tests your courage to the fullest while becoming the unobtainable dream. But no matter which level you find yourself on, every Ducati shares the same philosophy, and all 7 of these bikes still feel unmistakably Ducati, to the point where Ducati has riders so loyal that they don't buy it just for the transport, but because Ducati makes them feel something.
If you felt that Ducati passion through the screen, smash that like button and let me know in the comments, which one of these 7 bikes is your ultimate dream machine? Are you Team Scrambler or Team Superleggera?
Share this video with your riding squad and hit that subscribe button with the notification bell turned on so you don't miss our next video.